if you had most people, I think, who have like this little inkling of don't break my stuff.
Oh
Just
my
kidding.
God.
You break it, you bought it. No.
I'm leaving all this in there.
That's good. Good. Now you make me forget my train of thought. No, if you have a little bit of like the entrepreneur type spirit or the business owner, you know
Welcome to the Ground Up Podcast. This is the new segment we got going on called The Breakdown. And I'm here, sitting here. I'm about to have a conversation with my homie right here, Rylan. Go ahead.
what up, everybody? We
Yeah.
back again.
Back again. And we're gonna keep trying to bring these type of conversations to the table. I feel like these conversations are important to have. I feel like these conversations are gonna help grow this community of entrepreneurs in our city here in Richmond. If you're listening here in Richmond, but just our collective community of entrepreneurs too.
Yeah.
At the same sense.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? So today I want to bring something to the table. I want to talk about networking. My wife and I, we had this we always had this thing. Somebody posted, her name was Martine Jackson, real estate, you know what I'm saying? She's in the real estate entrepreneur. And she posted, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
And we always thought that was like, you know what I'm saying, that was powerful. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and being that we started our journey in an entrepreneur with real estate, we went to a lot of those type of events, those networking events. And it worked. It worked. Like, you know what I'm saying? We ran into people who helped us along in our journey and stuff like that. And it really did keep us going and keep us like going to the next step and stuff like that. And then podcasting was another form of networking for me.
Yeah.
And that's how I met you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Because in this journey in the city, you know what I'm saying, we all trying to find like-minded people, and podcasting was a form of networking.
Yeah.
So what I want to know, like, what do you do as far as networking, like other than, you know, being on podcasts and stuff like that?
Right. And before we jump too deep into that,
Okay.
don't forget to introduce yourself.
Oh, right. Again, I'm Aaron Rock, the host of The Breakdown, the new segment on the Ground Up Podcast. And, yeah, I'm the owner of Golden Touch Mobile Detailing, and I'm sitting here with Rylan Jones, the owner of Lamar Marie Popcorn.
That's right. That's right. We in the Lamar Marie Gourmet Popcorn Studio right now.
Oh,
I
we
just
in the
made that
studio.
up. I just made that up,
Man.
but it sounds smooth. But I think the this week's topic is pretty good and can get pretty deep. Like, that's one of the phrases that I remember hearing a long time ago, and it still kind of just dances in my head, like, and it's always part of how I move a little bit,
Right.
you know, and it's got to be like that if you want to progress. And I think that's on the personal side and the business side. If you got, you know, both. If you want to progress, your network is your net worth. But your net worth, like, I think a lot of people jump automatically to like the money part of it, but it's also net worth could be like currency,
Yeah.
and then it's different types of currency, right? Because time is a currency, money's a currency. Like, you could talk about emotional currency, right? You know what I mean? So there's different networks and circles for all of that stuff, and sometimes they overlap and sometimes they don't. But I know I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for focusing on that and trying to move towards that. Your network is your net worth, and changing the network.
Right.
You know, your circle, your inner circle, then that next layer, then the next layer, the next layer.
Right.
I wouldn't be here at all if I didn't have the people to call and ping stuff off. People that are ahead of you,
Right.
people that aren't ahead of you. Like, there's like you said, like-minded, but it can come from anywhere. And that network that's not going to be You know, the people that you used to being around, it's not gonna be your family all the time. For a lot of us, it's not family at all.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, I noticed with me when I started getting outside of my core group of people, that's those were some of the people who helped me a little bit more than my actual core group. Like it would, like I can even say, you know, I've called you a few times on some ideas, and I just met you, but not at that time. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was just meeting you, but it was because you was like minded. I was like, yo, I know he kind of get what I'm trying to think about or thinking about.
Yeah.
Maybe he can help me out with this more than me going to my brother or me going to, you know, one of my uncles or my siblings who are not involved in this to this extent and where I'm trying to get to. So it's like just that meeting different people who are at a different level.
Yeah,
is going to help you get to that different level too. And
yeah.
and that's where I stand with it a lot of the time, and that's how I be. Like that's why I'm always pushing myself to go to different type of events.
Yeah.
Pop ups, different just all different type of things. Like what other type of networking events do you go to or do you attend or something?
I feel like almost everything we do is a networking opportunity, even if it's not, you know, branded as a networking thing. Like you can still network with people. You can always be trying to meet people.
Right.
Always.
I agree with that.
Yeah, like you just like we do so many events with the popcorn store, like out and about, like in different cities, different states, and there's other vendors there, there's other craft people, and these are like, first of all, it's intriguing to me because these are people who are more creative than me.
Right.
From like an art, like I can't draw. I can't do any. I don't know colors. So to be around these people fascinates me anyway. You know what I mean? And we're all there. You know, that's a revenue stream. We're all trying to make money. It's not a networking event, you know, per se, in air quotes. But there's people there.
There's people there
that do stuff like, especially when we were new in the event game, and you go like, those are the people you want to talk to and ask questions, and most of them are open to sharing knowledge. You know, that they've learned. Some of these people have been doing this 25 years. Right. Obviously, they know way more than we knew. You know what I mean? And we still meet these people every time we do an event. So that's a networking, you know. To me, it's an opportunity to network. I think that going pretty much anywhere, and and this is a skill. So it's funny about this. My boy Chris one time asked me, when we had the DJ company.
Okay.
And we were doing it together. We was doing something. He was like, man, this seemed natural. Something, and I was like, bruh, absolutely not. Like at the beginning, when I first was trying to make the DJ company go full time, and I know I had to go to all these wedding network things and all that, and I hated like having to talk to people, and I hated trying to network. But it's the only way you can build. If you want to build your business faster, that's one of the ways to do it, right? And it was just, you have to hone that skill for sure. Like I read a few books and tried to get like 3 techniques, and then I just kept practicing them until they seemed natural, but they were not natural at first.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have to work, and it's uncomfortable. So if you're uncomfortable talking to strangers, I suggest you get comfortable talking to strangers. You know what I mean?
That's a big part of networking. You got to get comfortable with talking to people you don't know. You got to get comfortable with talking to people who not in the same crowd that you used to being around.
Right.
You got to get comfortable with that part, and that's a very important part of networking. I do remember times where I'd be nervous, nervous. I went to a few, like I said, the few ones I went, real estate events. Mm-hmm. I was nervous. Some of these guys who I was meeting and shaking their hands were supposed to be like big dogs in the real estate game, far as in this area.
Yeah.
And meeting them, and it was just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You're at a level I'm trying to get to, and it was kind of, you know, a little bit intimidating, just, you know, meeting them a little bit. But getting over that fear was, I got over it. I didn't. I wanted it bad enough. I got over it.
Yeah. Because you have to, like, if you want to progress, you don't have a choice. You got to get over it, or you'll you'll hit a wall pretty quick as far as being able to grow, and you won't have anybody to reach out to, and that's an important part of business. Like anybody that thinks the people who are the most successful don't have a peer group
Right.
to go to, 100% wrong. 100% wrong.
Yeah.
Like even if they do the exact same thing, the people who know business is business, they don't care if you do the same thing. They don't, you know what I mean? Like they have their competitive advantage, you have your competitive advantage.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. You can still talk to each other.
Right.
To a certain degree. Nobody's saying you tell them all your secrets, but you know what I mean?
Right.
They have a peer group. So, and that's part of the network.
That's part of the network.
And I'm telling you, man, the more I meet people that's ahead of me, the more I realize that statement is true, man. All these people hang out together.
They
you know what I mean?
And that's something I learned too. It's like especially being around certain peer groups. I gotta call it like that. Peer groups. Certain peer groups, they hang out with each other. They do things together. Their events are done with each other.
Yeah.
And they tight. They stick together. They network with each other. And when you get involved with one of them, they gonna pull you in if they feel like you worthy enough to be in that circle with them.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta put yourself out there. You'll never get involved in anything you're trying to get into if you don't even try or put yourself out there in a sense.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah. So back to like the thing, you got networking events, and then any event you go to just turn into a network event. That's my philosophy.
See, I got Golden Touch Mobile Detailing.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I'm trying to get into now is going to events, stuff like that. Like advice on that. Like what's some advice you can give me on that? Like at this moment.
I mean, I would go to. I would like, all right, who needs this service / wants this service, right? I probably would put want before need.
Want before need.
Yeah, because people tend to spend money on what they want before they spend on what they need. So want is more like an emotional thing.
Right.
Right. So I was like, okay, who is that? Who are those people?
Right.
Where would they be? So then I would go to that, and then I would just a lot of networking. I think people look for a tit for tat type thing. Like I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna get all these cards from people that I meet, and then I'll get business, or I'll make a new friend, and that's not really how I think most people look at it. Like from the business part first, and then from the person, like the human part second. When if you flip flop those, you have a little bit more success. On top of the fact, success with your business, but on top of the fact that you meet more dope people.
Right.
That can become actual friends. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or if they not like can become a close friend, they become like a deeper acquaintance, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You don't talk to them all the time, but when you call them, they answer. Right. And when they call you, you answer. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would go to those things, and then I would just strike up conversations. Like where do like I'm trying to think of something like where maybe somebody has like a fleet of something that they want to keep clean. I would say car dealerships, they usually have their own in-house. But that being said, I know a guy who had a detailing company, and depending on what it was, like they just have like general detail guys.
Right.
He could do a couple specialty things, so they would call him for that.
Right.
So then you could use this for like market research. You go to where they are, you just strike up, a conversation, genuinely care about what they do and how they do it, and then you do get their information, and then you follow up with something useful. Like it's a strategic thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a strategic thing. It's not happenstance. If you treat it like that, you won't really benefit as much.
Right.
Like that's my 2 cents. It's always go where's your customer or potential customer, and then talk to them, and then just have conversations and be like genuinely care about what they do, how they got started, how they got where they are, and then you become this is pro tip.
Okay.
Pro tip. This is pro tip. If you if you get them to tell you about them a lot and you just listen, like a bunch of networking is just listening and not even talking. You know what I mean? Because when the most thing with the DJ company, and we do it at the popcorn store too, is if someone asks me a question, I answer it with the shortest thing possible, and then ask them another question.
Right.
Or I won't even answer the question. I'll be like, "Yeah, well, what do you think about that? You know, how'd you get
Ask them
this?
the
Yeah,
question.
the
You
same
ask them the
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pro tip. And then the more, because they talking about themselves. You listening, and you're actively listening to what they're saying, and you're trying to take some mental notes, and then that person becomes now like a certain level on your network. And then if you want them to get deeper, you just have to follow. It's just in a follow up.
Right.
Follow up. So that would be my advice. And you would, like, all your customers right now, you networking with them. They probably give you mad referrals.
Yeah, and they do, and that's what I am noticing. That's one thing I am doing. I'm talking to my customers. Like, I'm conversating with them. I'm trying to get to know them, not just coming to do the service.
Yeah.
That's a part of networking, and they do give me referrals. I've have several referrals from customers and worked out, and those referrals have been giving me referrals, giving me other referrals. So
yeah.
I get that concept. So that has been working for me. So I want to push the conversation a little bit forward, just a little bit.
No, stay with the notes before we get in trouble.
Yo, the executive producer.
yeah. Keisha gonna come get us.
But finding the right people to build with.
Yeah.
Like in networking. You know what I'm saying? Far as like that, I find the right people to build with like the conversations I have with people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I find them with, like, it's always going to start with just finding somebody who's like-minded, but just those conversations I have with people, just trying to pique their interest, try to see where they at, and that's how I try to find the right people for me, especially with, mobile detailing or even with the podcast. Sometimes it's like finding, like, when we were finding guests when we first started doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Everybody has a business, but it's finding the right people who can articulate what's going on so we can help other people move forward.
Yeah.
That was difficult in the beginning. Not saying that the people we didn't have on there were dope. Everybody we had on there was dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that process of finding them was a difficult process for us. And that was a part of our networking too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just finding the right people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, the right people. Well, I think it's who you vibe with, depending on, what part of the networking or the network that you're trying to build. Like, there's people, you can have a network of people that you are going to collaborate with, right? And then you can have a network of people who are more like mentors. Right. And then you can have a network of people that's friends. Like, they are actual friends that may not be the people you grew up with. You know what I mean? So you have these different, like, kind of mini networks of people, and you want them to be where you're trying to go, or you guys are trying to move there, together. So to me, the ideal folks in my network, let's say friends, right? Like, they have to be people, like, when we have a conversation, we're having conversation about stuff that's, less, I think we touched on this before, less gossipy, and we're not just talking about people like that's, and I feel like I probably used to be that person too, several years ago.
I'm pretty sure
you know
I was
what I mean?
that person at one point.
Yeah.
But it became a point where I felt like that wasn't necessary, or it was just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Or a waste of my time.
Yeah.
And I seeked out more different types of conversation.
Yeah.
And that kind of changed who I hung around and who my friends became as I was seeking out those different types of conversations.
Yeah.
And it led me to podcasting. It led me to entrepreneur. Well, it didn't lead me to entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurship led me to those conversations that I was looking for. So I do agree with, like, that aspect of networking, like finding the right people to build around, to think around.
Yeah, of course. And I think even, like, if you say, like, if you had most people, I think, who have like this little inkling of don't break my stuff.
Oh
Just
my
kidding.
God.
You break it, you bought it. No.
I'm leaving all this in there.
That's good. Good. Now you make me forget my train of thought. No, if you have a little bit of like the entrepreneur type spirit or the business owner, you know you want to do something else, right? But you got the wrong peer group that doesn't support that. Some people, like you just said, they're like, oh, this didn't lead me to the entrepreneurship, this part. But really, that came first. You probably suppressed it because of who you was around. You wasn't around supportive people, and if you around that and you know it's gonna get shot down immediately, why would you talk about it? People don't talk about stuff. Like, it takes a certain level of friendship, and I'm talking about like your friends group now, your friend network, right?
Right.
It takes a certain depth of friendship to be able to be honest with each other and not be beefing after that, right?
Exactly.
So if you don't have that, this is my opinion, if you don't have that part, no one talks about stuff with their friends that they think is gonna get bashed down anyway, and it could be anything. I'm struggling with, it's just, especially if you're a dude. You know what I mean? Like, you could be like, oh, I'm thinking about this, this girl or whatever. You could try to talk about something like that, and even that's gonna get beat up if you in the wrong group.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It take a certain level of friendship where you can even talk about stuff like that without getting, verbally beat up by the people that you're talking to.
Exactly.
So then when you start talking about this type of thing and ideas you may have, this might be, somebody think about all like the NFT stuff coming out on the blockchain. At one point, everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
even the people that's at the top.
I remember when that was coming out. I remember driving the Pepsi truck, listening to my podcasts and stuff, and NFTs, the Ethereum, all that stuff was just all that stuff coming out. It's like, man, like, these people really jumping on that, and I guarantee if I would have mentioned that to anybody I knew when I first heard it, they'd have shot it down completely. They're like, why would you do that? Why'd you put your money in that?
Yeah.
And that's one part of leading me not to jumping into something that I thought that could be something, but that was, you know what I'm saying, dealing with this, the people I was dealing with, I was still like that was the beginning stages of me trying to find those different type of conversations.
Exactly. And if you're with them people and get beat up, you're just not even going to talk about it no more. Because anything that we see, like everything that we see, everything that we interact with, every experience that we have that's not like internal that I created, somebody had to have that thought first, and they probably talked about it with somebody, and the group they were in at some point was like, give it a try, and not in the group that was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like somebody, like for real, like everything. Somebody was like, yo, whoever invented pillows and this, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, somebody probably thought it was a stupid idea.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. But somebody, that same, probably, I can't even, however many people, probably, it could have been 1,000 people had that idea. And then 998 of them probably said it out loud and it got beat up. And they was like, yeah, you're right, it's probably stupid. But 2 people was like, nah, let me do this anyway. Or talk to someone else that was like, that's actually a good idea, you should give it a try. And now you start attracting the type of people that encourage you to do stuff, or at a minimum, don't beat it up. They may not understand, but they don't beat it up when they don't understand. You know what I mean? Those are the type of people like you want to seek out from the friend level and from a business level. Because I got mentors I try to explain something to them, but they're not in this world. They do other stuff.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? A couple of them are real estate. That's all they know. That's all they do. That's all they focus on. They never did a retail thing or like this. So, and I try to explain it to them. And they be like, I don't really, and they're like, I gotta tell you, I don't really understand what you're talking about.
Right.
But it sounds like it might be okay. Like, let's give it a try. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like you should try it. You know what I mean? Which is different from, I don't understand is that makes it automatically stupid. You know, you know what I mean? You know what
it makes it automatically.
Yeah, we don't want to be in those groups where everything is like, an automatic, stupid idea. You know what I mean?
Like, why? Why did you bring that up?
Yeah.
There's a new business in town.
Golden Touch Mobile Detailing.
If you're in the Richmond, Virginia area and tired of riding dirty,
or you appreciate a deep clean,
book an appointment with Golden Touch Mobile Detailing. It's not your average car wash. Full interior and exterior cleaning, and Golden Touch Mobile Detailing comes to you.
It's the attention to detail to make you a returning customer.
Follow the Instagram at Golden Touch RVA and book your appointment.
I guarantee you'll be riding clean. All right. So losing friends in this entrepreneur journey.
That come with it.
That come with it.
It sounds like you already know.
Yeah. A little bit. Like some people, I don't want to say like I lost them. It's just stepping away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just stepping away so I can accomplish my goals. Mm-hmm. And I had some times where stepping away wasn't cool with some of my friends. And that kind of left some scars and you know what I'm saying, in certain situations. But I knew what I was trying to do was best for me in my situation. So it was like, I want to help you, but I got to get what I'm trying to get done. And that's kind of what they call it, putting the life vest on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's kind of like where I was going with it. But it do help. It not help, but it do in turns you lose friendships, and they consider you not as down or as for them as they thought.
Yeah,
but you just trying to move forward, and they not understanding that.
Yep. It's somebody gonna call you brand new. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they acting brand new because XYZ, and I'd be like, yeah. I am, and so what? You know what I mean? And it's like, so I'm trying to do this, like you said, whatever your situation is that you trying to move forward in. It is what it is, and not everybody gonna fit in the picture. Mm-hmm. So to you, that mean I'm acting brand new, and I'm whatever. Then I'm whatever, and I'm gonna keep on being whatever, all the way to where I'm trying to get to the goal.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And then when I really get to the goal, I'm really gonna be brand new. You know, like. It is what it is. I think a lot of people are afraid of that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by like keeping like things close to the vest, or just even spitting your ideas out. Like that's why I never told a lot of my friends about like a lot of my entrepreneur ventures and stuff like that, because not knowing that they wasn't going to understand it, but they just wasn't on that same page at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they're not there now, but I'm just saying when I was there, they wasn't.
Yeah.
So it was like, you kind of had to slow down or not just step away for a little bit. You know?
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be. If it does happen, it doesn't always have to be like a forever thing. Like this person, I'm not talking to this person or this group of people, and you step out and start creating another group of people, and you can still have this other group of people over here. You still cool with.
Do you feel like that friend group gets jealous of the new friend group you're trying to develop, or do you feel they feel like lesser, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I don't really feel like it's like that with some of my friend groups, as far as like anything jealous with other things,
right?
Because if it is, they don't. I haven't really felt it or heard it. No one says, straight up said it, anything like that. Because then it also goes the same way with them. They could be doing whatever, and it may not be. My thing is just the, business, entrepreneur stuff, personal development stuff. That's just where I'm at. They could be doing the same thing because they are, their hobbies have morphed into something else. The thing that brought us together before may not be. We may not be into that collectively anymore.
Right.
So they're going to move towards something else too. It's just not what I'm moving towards. Mm-hmm. And then I know me personally, I'm not going to bash, whatever that person is going to. It's just not my bag, and I'm more, honestly, I'm more like, okay, I do have a couple of hobbies that don't generate anything. Right. Usually I'm like, is that gonna make me can I pay my light bill with it? No, okay, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? That's just where my interests lie.
Right.
because we trying to build a certain thing. So you got to allocate time
To
appropriately. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I don't, I'm sure that happens, but I haven't personally experienced.
Yeah. I feel you on that. Like I said, it has been moments where I felt like some of my friend peers look at me differently, or judge me a little bit differently.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna say it didn't hurt, but I'm not gonna say I wasn't paying attention to it either. Definitely was, but I knew where I was trying to head in my
Yeah.
direction, so it never really. I knew where my mindset was going with that one. So
Yeah,
that's how I
yeah.
leave that one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you definitely gotta be, you like get in the right mental space to be able to move, towards where you're going, building a new circle or expanding your circle, and being okay with the other circle closing or getting smaller. You know what I mean? Like you got to be okay with it, and it's tough for some people, especially we got some of these attachments are long.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
childhood friends.
Yeah,
and,
it can.
just people who who they were there for you when in that moment in life they were there for you when you were down, and it's like I get that.
Yeah.
And that leads me to like stuff like working with family. What's your thoughts on that? Like just working with family?
It just depends.
It depends. It's a sticky topic. It's a sticky topic.
It is. It's. I tell you one thing. I got 3 sisters. One of them comes here, does stuff all the time. When we need extra hands, she's on board. It's great. My other 2, they wouldn't really work for me. Work for me. Like that's the thing too, where they working with family or working for family or family working for you, right? Because that's now like that's your family network, and if they're not into it or respect the structure, that doesn't work either. And I'm all for, I don't care who you are, if you like, I don't have a problem not removing a person, removing myself from that person, even if they family, blood family, or just somebody you consider family for whatever reason. In this thing, because it's not gonna always, like, people don't always understand. They take just like the same, they're gonna beat it up. Some people's family beat up the idea.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Beat up the idea too.
Yeah, you got to be okay with trying to migrate away from that and going and talking to, like, keeping it what you keep close to your chest or what you share. Then you start knowing what to share and what not to share.
What not to share.
You know what I mean? It's with family, especially holidays come around, or depending on how close you are with immediate family and then kind of your extended family. Like, I don't share everything with everybody in my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because because I already know probably what they're going to say. And some stuff I ain't sharing because I used to share a lot, and it didn't always work out.
Right.
And then they got something to say about it not working out. And I'm like, well, you got to try it. I didn't say it was going to work out 100%. You still got to try it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you got something to say about all the tries that didn't turn into something, that person probably also is not going to do very much. You know what I'm saying? Because a person that's beating up the attempts probably not going to have many attempts themselves. So there's like they're probably going to be more stagnant.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't know how much I could work with family to a certain degree.
Right. I'm trying. I do want to work with family to a certain degree. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like with my brothers, I want to be able to help them out, but we all got our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all got our own thing. Like one of my brother, he's a veteran himself. You know what I'm saying? He has a clothing line, and he's good. I mean, his clothing line is good. He's doing well with that. And my other brother, he owns a repair business. He does small appliances repairs.
Okay.
And I got mobile detailing. Like, you get what I'm saying? We all come from the same tree. You know what I'm saying? We all got to hustle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I feel like we could work together. Like, I feel like, because we come from the same cloth. We know each other's goals and stuff. We can work together. It's just finding the time sometimes to even work together, even though we all got our own thing. And that's hard sometimes because I feel like my thing is good. My brother feel like his thing is good,
Yeah.
and then my other brother feel like my thing is good.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then my thing is, I'm like, I want to see your thing succeed and be
Yeah.
successful. That's a part of that's the family. That's gonna be in the family
Yeah.
legacy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, my name ain't exactly on it, but my family name is on it. My family lineage is in it.
Yeah.
So I want to see it succeed, and that's why I want to work with family, and with my family, because
Yeah.
we all hustlers in a sense. We now, and not hustlers in a bad sense, but
Yeah.
we all
Yeah.
we all got ambition and entrepreneur ambitions,
Yeah.
and that's something I love about my brothers and even my sisters and my, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
other people in my family. We all got those same type of ambitions. So I do want to work with my family. It's just trying to find a good balance to work with my family,
Yeah.
or to not have my family feel like I'm trying to get over on them, or me feeling like they trying to get over on me,
Yeah.
or you know what I'm saying. Everybody want to be the boss. When can you step away and not be the boss and let, you know what I'm saying, the person with the bigger picture idea flourish? Why everybody got to fight to be the boss? Like, you get what I'm saying, stuff like that. But I feel like, you know what I'm saying, working with your family can be a difficult thing, but I feel like it should be something we all striving to try to do, at least to some extent.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when it goes back to just historically, you know what I'm saying, in our community, we don't have a lot of stuff to hand down to our family members, and that's why we always starting from nothing every time we're trying to do anything, instead of starting from at least a foundation somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like working with family is important, or should be somewhat important. Like, that's just my take on it.
and that's cool. You can have that, because guess what? Negative. Nah, and it all depends on your family. And I mean, as far as family goes, like, I love my family. My sisters, parents, all of that. I don't have any grandparents left, but but I don't know if we could work together, right? I just don't know that would work.
Right.
And now, I also like being a boss. So depending on what it is, like, I respect everybody's perspective that's, want to contribute and everything. But when it comes to certain stuff, that just doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? Because I
understand that.
Some of the business stuff, my mom gets into, but she is silent partner.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, I'll get this little bit over here. If we have the understanding, like, we talk about whatever, and she's like, all right, cool. Well, when is my check going? you know what I mean? She not trying to take it over or nothing.
Like, when am I gonna get my cut?
Yeah, which is fine with me. So when it comes to, like, family, to me, that's where I fall on that side of it, where I'll just do the thing, and then everybody can share in the rewards of it without actually having to be, like, in it with me. You know what I mean? That's more where I'm at. I don't think I can, and I learned my lesson even trying to do stuff with friends. This is, it has to be a very specific thing for me, to do a business thing with a friend. Certain friends. Some friends get it, that business is business. That's how it works.
Some friends will get it. Some friends are definitely knuckleheads. I not saying they just, you know what I'm saying, they stubborn. They don't see it. They only see it one way.
They only see it one way, yeah. And that goes, I mean, I have some mentors like that. I had one that told me, like, we first started this, it wasn't like we started and it just took off right away. It was a struggle the first couple of years. And I had a mentor who was like, I don't even know why you're still doing it. Just burn it all down and start all over.
Right.
The experience that you already got, just, he was like, burn the ship. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to burn the ship. And then it worked out. So now the same mentor though is like, man, I'm glad you didn't listen.
You said,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad you didn't listen. I said, yeah. And then they're in a network of people like that they mentor people that's, a little bit behind them on the path, but all of them hang out together. You know what I mean? Whenever I call, when they're like, oh, I was with such and such this weekend. We always at such and such house. And I'm like, I talk to each, like, 4 or 5 of these people individually, you know. But they all on the weekends they hanging out with each other.
Right.
And if you think they're not talking about moves they make with their businesses, you would be incorrect. They socialize like we socialize, but also part of that is like, what's this thing we got going on? And that's how money is made and money is changing hands and coming back to them, because you got opportunities that's shared, and then some of those require money, some of them don't, but then everybody reaps the benefits if it works out. But also at this level, people understand that if it doesn't work out, that's a business thing that didn't work out. It's not a friendship thing.
It's not a friendship thing. It's just a business.
Yeah.
So lessons you learn around some of these entrepreneur friends.
Oh, from the from the networking thing?
Just networking, like some of these lessons.
Always be kind. That's a big thing. Like, kindness wins all the time.
Right.
Always be willing to help someone else, even when, and this is important, even when you don't have an immediate benefit from this assistance. Right? Always be willing to help. And then I'm going to circle back to just being kind. And I think if you approach, like, trying to build a network that's with whatever. Now, we're talking about entrepreneur type stuff.
Yeah.
But this could be whatever.
Yeah,
if you just feel stuck in life and you're like, man, I just need to do something different.
Exactly.
You can start building a new network that's just something different. It's just not what you're in right now.
Yeah, this don't just apply for entrepreneurship. This networks for anything you need to. You know what I'm saying?
Just anything in life. Just know that it could be years before, you know, that thing comes back to you. And that's okay. And I feel like if you approach it like that, it won't feel like a chore or a task, and you won't always be feeling like this resentment, like, I'm doing all this, and I ain't getting nothing. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Just meet the people, and eventually the right people will come, and that will come back to you when the time is right. And then that's how you expand your circle, because then you meet these new people, and you get a new friend, and that friend leads to another new friend. And before you know it, you got 4 or 5 people in your new circle that you're close with. And then you just repeat that process over and over again for certain stuff.
Well, that was one lesson I had taught to me, you know, that being, you know what I'm saying, being kind and stuff like that through networking. You always want to be able to have something, like if you're asking for somebody's knowledge, have something to offer or be of some type of service for them, because that's just, you know what I'm saying, gratitude for that information, because, you know what I'm saying. Another lesson, Martine Jackson. I mean, she her name changed now. She's married, so congrats on that. But her lesson, you know what I'm saying, your network is your net worth. Like, that was a lesson for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just being around people who get it was a lesson for me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was a major lesson for me. Like, it took away a lot of the fear in attempting some of the stuff that I'm trying to do. Like, you know, I started a mobile detailing business. I started a podcast. I got other ideas I plan on starting. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my wife to write a book. Like, this all
Write the book. Write the book.
Like, this all come from the network I'm building.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? And I want my son to, you know, thrive off of what I'm trying to accomplish too. Like, it's not just for me, in a sense. That's how I look at it, and that's how I look at seeing my network. You know what I'm saying? It's not just for me. It's for the family. It's for my name. It's for my family, my son and his kids, because I want him to be influenced by the right people and not just. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be influenced by some people who are trying to do some things out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. I know exactly what you mean. I want the exposure to be a little more broad.
Exactly.
You know, and not as narrow. So yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I agree. Like and I think there was a study one time that's where this phrase comes from. Where they and I forget. I wish I could remember. I think it was in a book that I read / listened to.
Hey, look! Listening to a book is the new reading.
Yeah, hey, look, that's the only time I read dumb slow. So like, But on audio, I can speed it up like 1.5, and I can get it. You know what I mean?
Right there with you.
But if I'm reading, I'm like, yo, I've been reading the same page like 7 times. Yeah,
Still
you know
trying
what I'm
to
saying? Yeah.
digest it.
Yeah, like don't get the game twisted.
Oh man.
But that, I think it came from the study where they study all these people. Like, okay, that's what came from it. Like this group of people are in this general kind of, I don't want to say box, but like this is the level or whatever.
Right.
You know, on average, if you have 5 friends or 6 friends, you all make roughly the same. You all live roughly the same. You know what I mean? So if you want to level up, and that goes up and down.
Yeah.
If you always hanging around the same people, and you all broke as hell.
That's the mentality,
You know what I mean? Like,
that's the level of
yeah,
lifestyle
like,
you're gonna stick to.
I don't want to be with I don't want to hang around 4 or 5 other broke ass people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you're trying to become not broke.
Exactly.
So where's those people? Because the different mindset that comes with how you move. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily move the same when you're trying to progress as when you're just cool with being stagnant. So that's where that came from. And I think it's true. And as we progress through it, my wife see it too with her business. As she moves up and gets better and better at it, it makes more and more. You start talking to different people. You meet different people. You're like, oh, I hang out with these people. They all at 7 figures.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not there, but these people giving me, I'm getting that vibe. I'm getting that.
I'm getting that.
I'm getting that
residual
7-figure vibe.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
getting that second figure vibe.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this would, you getting that vibe, and then you just keep going up and up and up, and it's different. Like I don't know any 8-figure people personally. I know a handful of 7-figure people, right? And their vibe is different, and some of them you would never know.
Right.
You would never know, right? Let's say told you.
Let's say told
but
you.
But their vibe is different. I can't wait. I look forward to meeting somebody that's 8 figures.
Yeah.
And getting in that network. You know what I mean?
Just seeing what that vibe is.
Yeah. What's that 8-figure vibe? Like I see the 7, and it starts from the bottom. I remember being like, man, this vibe from these people that's doing, that just cracked the 6-figure with their own business. They crack $100,000. Oh, they move different. When it was a side hustle, maybe you was doing like $10,000 for the whole year.
Right.
You know what I mean? You looking at somebody that's doing $100,000, you're like, oh, I want to be in that network.
Be in that number
yeah. And then you get in there and you're like, okay. This is nice. Then you meet somebody that's at $250,000, then 500, then $750,000. You know what I mean? And you catch the vibe. Oh, you're like, okay, I'm moving in the right direction. Exactly. And you get encouragement, all this type of stuff. Yeah, it's cool. That's my biggest takeaway from the whole network thing. Feel the vibe. Be okay with embracing the newness of it, and keep moving towards it. And just acknowledge that the other stuff, as you move towards stuff, you're moving away from other stuff, and that's okay. Yeah.
Man, that was awesome. Yeah. So I'm gonna end it. So I thank you. Appreciate you. Networking is important, man. You got to want to step outside your shell.
Yep.
You got to want to build something, because entrepreneurship, you can't do it alone.
Right.
And if you do, you're going to be working very, very hard. You're going to be working very, very hard.
You're going to be mentally drained every day, son.
So build your network. Build the people that's going to help you grow. And that's my takeaway from what we got right here.
Yeah. And I'm gonna throw a book out there real quick for anybody.
Yeah.
It's called Never Eat Alone, and I forget who wrote it. It's an orange cover, but it's on audio and it's on hardback on Amazon, and it's pretty thick. But if you wanna
get the audio,
get the audio, But this book Never Eat Alone, it's got a lot of nuggets in there.
I'm probably gonna look for that right now.
A lot of nuggets in that one.
Never eat alone.
Yep, I'm gonna end with that. Never eat alone.
So, all right. So, thank y'all once again for listening. If you got any questions y'all want us to discuss, let us know. We're trying to do something different with the Ground Up Podcast this season. This for the foregoing future. You know what I'm saying? Send us your questions if you want us to try to discuss anything. Let us know. Want to let everybody know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We have Rylan Jones on all the social medias. And then, of course, you can follow Lamar Marie Gourmet Popcorn. Go to the website, lamarmarie.com. Check us out. We do fundraisers. We do corporate. You can do whatever you want, custom stuff. Just come talk to us. We got you.
All right, and I'm Aaron Rock with Golden Touch Mobile Detailing. Hit me up on the Instagram and book an appointment, man. Get your car cleaned up, have it looking nice all summer long, man.
All right, much love.
Thank y'all, man.